Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in to Sister Talk Radio. My name is Mia Lou, and today on our panel, we have my co-host,
Miss 72.
and
Miss Kathy.
and our special guest today, Miss. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
My name is Janine Hall.
And what do you do? Who are you?
I am a poet. I'm a playwright. I'm a domestic violence survivor.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
So Lisa, go ahead.
Yes, and speaking on that, our topic today will be about domestic violence. We had Nina come in because she, like she said, she is a victim of it, plus others that we may know. Nina, you have a poem that you normally say. Would you mind saying that poem? Or tell your story?
I can.
Okay, well, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The title of the poem is called Purple. It's about my testimony. August the 18th, 2001, I was in a domestic violence relationship where it turned fatal. And this poem will him, but he wasn't good enough. She wanted him, but he wasn't good enough. That boy was poison. See, newsflash, she was told as a child that you're fast, but she didn't grow up fast. And flash forward, she's grown now, and her childish tendencies still wouldn't put him out the house. And newsflash, purple was her favorite color. She thought it was a Gemini thing, but flash forward, it ended up being the color used by millions to salute her story. See, he has his own clothing line, Wife Beaters. His fist abused her. I don't think you heard me. I said his fist abused her because the H is silent because nobody hears her. Nobody listens. Her blood, it doesn't even bleed blood anymore. It bleeds bruise. And just for that, his balls are blue. No sex. Mysteriously fall on her eye. How did she mysteriously fall on her eye? Hello, fist. Let me introduce you to I. Nice to meet you. See, it was a song that we used to sing as a child. It was a one eye, one horn, flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me. One eye, because it will come out of his skull the angrier he gets. One eye, one horn, flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me. One horn, because it will come out of his skull the angrier he gets. See, you can't have a Mr. Purple People Eater. You can't have her because, see, everybody beat you to it. He beat you to it and everybody knew it. And although while she was singing this song cutely as a child, while not knowing that Mr. Purple People Eater, you were getting her prepared for her future. Because, see, she could come around now because she's not riding from his ego anymore. And she hasn't seen her family in so long that mama done grade. And daddy was going to divorce her, but he stayed. I said, mama done grade. And daddy was going to divorce her, but she stayed. Would have said if he would have seen her face. I wonder what daddy would have said if he would have seen her face. See, she wore makeup to paint the picture the way her looks used to be. And she wore dark glasses to hide the dark secrets in her life. I wore dark glasses to hide the dark secrets in my life. And I wore makeup to paint the picture the way my looks used to be. See, I wanted so bad to get away from him, but he had already marked his territory on my body, walking around proud of his abstract artwork as if somebody was going to ask him for a business card or something. See, purple taught me about self-esteem. Purple taught me about self-love. Purple taught me about loving myself. It was hard for purple to counsel a lost and unwanted soul that was brainwashed by he. And I would stitch the word purple across my chest and wear it like a badge of honor. And I would bleed purple blood for each and every domestic violence victim who's not here today to tell her story. So the next time you ask me what happened, I'll tell you that my finger is literally shaped like my 96 luminous gear shaft because he was on a warpath while hitting me while I was driving. And I'll tell you that the stab wounds on my back and on my arms and the 23 and the 46 stitches that I had to have in my face was because since I didn't talk to him, he saw it as a sign of disrespect. And I tell you that the pistol whippings that I endure each and every day still leave permanent headaches to this day. Because on August the 18th, 2001, I got strangled to death, flatline. God gave my life back to me and gave him 15 years strong. So please support Domestic Violence Awareness Month, not just in October, but each and every day because it supports my son.
Yes, if you never heard a story of domestic violence, you heard one today. A true story of someone's struggle and how she's still standing here today. And she's using that time to help others that don't know how to deal with it, don't know how to get out of it before it's too late. The other things that happen for the month of October that's dealing with domestic violence along with the color purple?
I know there's also lupus. It's National Lupus Month. So I know it's Cancer Awareness Month. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. It's Lupus Awareness Month. That's also like the color purple.
Right. Yeah. Do you all know any people that y'all know personally that have dealt with domestic violence that was close to you?
Well, yeah, I have. I've had people in the past that growing up, I witnessed a lot of domestic violence amongst young girls, teenagers, young mothers being beaten by their boyfriends, while pregnant and afraid to tell their mothers and fathers about what's going on. Yeah, so I have experienced that before.
Yeah, of course. I've witnessed domestic violence on a personal level myself, not me personally, but a different aspect. I do believe I was affected personally by witnessing domestic violence. When you see something like that, it can mess you up, even, in your adulthood.
It can.
As far as you date, how you deal with people, just even witnessing, just seeing it. So it's a big thing within our community. We see it all the time, really.
Right.
And we're affected by it. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and a lot of children are affected by it. So I think you think it's like feeding anger, like if someone is young, seeing domestic violence growing up, do you think it make them go away from it, or think they want doing the same acts that they seen?
Both, actually. Males can pick it up from their fathers, from watching their fathers abuse, or they can become abusers by watching that, or even so seeing their mother being abused by men,
or seeing their mother be an abuser, because not all men are abusers. There are some women out here that are abusive towards their significant others, because maybe they have experienced abuse in the past. And a lot of times when women are in relationships, they accept that behavior from men.
Why do you think so?
Oh, maybe, okay, because I could just say this for myself. I was an abuser in many relationships, and I verbally abused just about everybody I ever dated, all because that's what I witnessed growing up, was verbal abuse. So I knew how to cut a man down and make him feel like absolutely nothing just by the words that I chose to use.
So it's different sides of abuse.
So I would provoke violence in men because of the choice of words I use, and I never had that respect. You know what I mean? So yes, I do believe it stems from childhood.
Well, do you think just because you might have been verbally abused, do it mean that someone should physically abuse you because they don't agree with how you're talking to them and handling them? Like, what if that?
No, I'm never going to say that physical abuse is, no form of abuse is acceptable. It's just I don't know.
I think it depends on the individual how they respond to abuse.
Right.
Some people can walk away from it, but some people can't, and it depends on maybe how they were brought up. Some people, abusers, I think honestly, I think soul ties are in line with abusers and being abused as well.
Right.
Somehow they connect. An abuser can recognize insecurities or certain weaknesses in a person, and they know that they can dominate that person and abuse them.
That's true.
An abuser look for people to abuse, because they look for those things that they saw maybe in the person growing up, you know what I'm saying? Or their father could have been or mother. You know, it could have been other problems in the household that caused abuse. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on the individual in that aspect. You know, I saw it in my household as a kid coming up. My mom had that put their hands on her, but she was able to get out. And then growing up, I see other friends, you know, family go through the same thing, and some people aren't able to get out. And it really just depends on the individual. You know what I'm saying? But everybody is affected by it, whether it's a negative or a positive. Either you're going to go out in the world, you're going to become an abuser, or you're going to know what you're not going to deal with, or what you just refuse to deal with, you know? But one thing I think within our communities is we don't get help. A lot of this is mental illness. You know, it's a lot of mental
I agree with
illness
that.
within our community.
And we also need
don't
to know
deal
the
with it.
difference between mental
Right.
illness and mental health. There's a big difference in the two, you know. So
Yeah, but it pretty much goes hand in hand.
it does. It
If
does.
you're not
I
taking
agree.
care of your mental health, your brain could take you different way, you know, in different ways. The person that's abusing, it may not be their initial fault, so to speak. It could just be something that they done went through and never got help, you know.
And I just wanted to chime in on the statistics. Every 9 seconds in the United States, a woman is assaulted or beaten. This is a quote. Domestic violence is an epidemic. No matter what the statistics are, let me start over. This is a quote. Domestic violence is an epidemic, no matter what statistics you look at. Yet, as a society, we often close our eyes to it. And I believe this to be true. You know, even though I witness young women being abused, or me being in an abusive relationship, or, you know, it was always hush, hush. Don't call the police. You better not dare call the police. I remember I got to an altercation with my baby daddy, you know, because my son had just started our son had just started walking, and he was always into stuff. So he went in the bathroom playing in the toilet, and I tapped him on his hand. His daddy was there. He was like, "Don't hit him no more." And I'm like, "What you mean?" I mean, you see him playing in the toilet, why you won't get him? So soon as I went in there again, he went back in there again, and I disciplined him. Want to rough me up all because I'm disciplining his son. My uncle tells me, don't call no police on my phone. But you just seen an altercation between me and my baby daddy, and you excuse that? Don't call no police. I'm like, okay. So yeah, there are some people that are, you know.
So Nina, what was your situation? Like, were your family and friends reaching out to you? Did they know what was going on? Was you hiding it?
And friends did not know what was going on because I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and my family was here in Chicago. So I was in Atlanta, Georgia, all by my lonesome, and then nobody know. I just got tired. One day I said, you know what? Because I would go to work, and I was doing collections at the time. So I would go to work every day with a bruise here, a bruise there. And you know how we lie. Oh, I burnt myself. I failed. So my supervisors, they wasn't stupid. They knew what was going on. But they was just
beat you.
Yes, they was just waiting on me to tell what was going on. And to be honest with you, that was like the only time I had happiness or smiled or laughed and was myself when I was at work. And he would hate that.
That was your escape.
That was my escape, because he would hate that. Every day he would be like, you must be talking to somebody at that job because you always smile. What you laughing for? What you smiling for? And he used to call my job like 24/7 a day. And my supervisors would be like, tell him stop calling here. Tell him stop calling here. To the point I used to tell my supervisor, just disconnect the line then. You know what I'm saying? So he can't call. And then he had threatened me. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So I remember this one particular day, he called my job, and I answered the phone. And when I answered the phone, I must have sounded like I was happy. Who you talking to? You must got somebody at the job that you. I'm like, look, I'm in the mood for this today. Please, don't worry about it. I got something for you when you get home. Don't worry about it. I took the train. I used to take the train every day to my job. I got off the train. I saw him, but he didn't see me, because I took another way home. So I was the train that he thought I was gonna be on. I missed that train and was on the one behind it. So I saw him, but he didn't see me. He literally was looking for me in the King Memorial train station in Georgia, and he literally took a gun and shot it in the air. People running everywhere, and I'm like, "Where is the police when you need them?" So finally, he saw me. He grabbed me by my hair and was dragging me down the stairs. I'm trying to fight this
Was
man.
anybody there to help you?
People was there, but because he shot in the air, it was like people were scared, like they didn't want to get involved. And I'm like, all these millions of people in this train station, people was, I guess they were scared to help me, but I mean, I can't. Nobody helped me, but I was just wishing maybe somebody would. You know what I mean?
Situation.
So
was that the last incident? Was that the drawing point? What made you stay after all of that?
No, first of all, how long did it go on?
I was with him for 3 years, but the abuse didn't start until the 3rd year that I was with him. The first 2 years, I'm not gonna lie, were perfect. He whined me, dined me, said all the good things, everything. We went out, we had fun the first 2 years. 3rd year, he just,
So
I
the
don't
first
know.
time he
But I
hit
come
you,
to find out,
mhm,
I come to find out later,
mhm.
after I stopped dealing with him and all the court cases and all that stuff, that he was on drugs.
Oh,
You didn't know he was
but
on
I didn't
drugs
know.
the whole 3 years?
I didn't know, no ma'am. I didn't know because he had a good way of hiding it. But so the straw that broke the camel's back was he pistol whooped me so bad one day that I just got tired because I was afraid of him. That was my reason for staying, because I was afraid. Because he was the type of person that if he say he gonna do something, he's gonna do it. That's
So
exactly
do you
the way.
remember the first time, the first incident where he physically put
I
his hands
remember the
on
first
you?
time, yeah.
And what made you stay with him?
Like most people do. First of all, you gotta say to yourself, like, did he just hit me?
right.
You know what I mean? It's one of them. Did he? No, you know what I mean? You shake it off like, no. So I'm thinking, it's just maybe he's just mad.
He just hit you. He didn't like. Just
No, he
beat
didn't
you up
punch
that
me or
time.
beat
He
me up
just
or nothing
hit
like that. He just like slapped me, and and I'm thinking like, he just mad or whatever. It'll all boil down, everything will be cool, but it didn't.
When did you start blaming yourself?
It just got worse. I never blame myself.
Never.
Mm-mm. I blame myself for staying as long as for being afraid of him like I was to leave. That's what I blame myself from, because you shouldn't be afraid of no man but God.
Was he
So,
threatening you? Did he tell you if you left, I would do?
He would threaten me and all that. He would threaten me, don't leave. Like you say, don't call the police, because if you call the police on me, then I'm gonna go to jail. All that type of stuff. And then it was the type of point. It got to the point like when he's like would stab me or something to where I'm bleeding bad enough to where I need stitches. He would not let me go to the hospital and get no stitches, because he knew if I went to the hospital, then that means the police gonna come. But what I did used to do was, I got numerous of police reports, and after police, I got a whole paper trail on this man. But what would happen was, when I would call the police, they would say that what you need to do is get in touch with your building manager and have them like literally like evict him. Like I had to have my building managers evict him out, because they say once you be with somebody, like live with somebody for 30 days in Georgia, you basically don't establish residency with that person. And another thing, they said when you with somebody in Georgia for 6 months, y'all like common law marriage.
Oh wow!
After 6 months, after 6 months, yes.
Living together.
Living together,
7 years
yes.
here though.
Yeah, 6 months there. So it was like I couldn't. It's like I couldn't shake him. I tried, you know what I mean. But it was like, and then when the police would take him, they'll take him for 72 hours and let him come. No, keep him. Don't bring him back. Keep him.
Did he have any children?
He had a son, but I've never met him or anything like that. But it like I said, the last straw was that day when he pistol whipped me so bad and I was bleeding so bad. I went to work the next day and I told my supervisor, okay, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've been in an abusive relationship, this, that, and the other been happening. I gave him his name. I gave him everything about him. I said, anything happened to me, y'all know who did it. And what I did was I told him, I said, if I get a decent enough check, I'm gonna go on my lunch break and buy me a car, and I'm not coming back to Georgia no more. I'm going home to Chicago. So what I did was I got a decent enough check, went and brought me a 96 purple Lumina and drove to Chicago, purple, and drove all the way to Chicago, all the way here. Didn't even think about him no more. I just drove. And when
So at this point, you don't even know where he's at.
I knew he was still in Georgia. And what happened was maybe like I want to say like a couple of weeks, probably like a month later or so. Um, I was at home and my mother stayed in Berkeley and walking down her driveway one day, and I just heard somebody say, "Nina." Nope, this could not be him because he's in Atlanta. Nope, this cannot be
I bet you
him.
felt that sound like something from a
This
scene
sound
from a
like- right,
movie.
this
Like,
cannot be him.
OMG.
So then I heard that he called my name again, and I looked, and he literally was like standing there and like chasing me. I'm like, oh God, no, this cannot be happening. So I'm running down my mother's parking lot. It seemed like it took me forever to get to her door. So what happened was he had literally like pulled out a gun and put it to my back and told me that if I don't go, my mother that I lied about him, that he was gonna shoot me and her.
Wow.
So I went into the house and I told my mother that I lied about him and he was just this perfect person just because I didn't want him to hurt my mother. At the point, I wasn't even caring about me no more. It's about my mother now. I don't want you to hurt my mom. So after that, it was like maybe like I want to say like a couple of weeks later, like a week, not even a week later, probably like some like 7 days or 6 days later, he and went. I don't know where she went, but she had went somewhere, and he made me get back in the car with that gun again. We get back in the car, and my mother was gone. So I know when she probably came back home, she probably wondered, where am I? He made me get back in the car. We drove all the way to Georgia.
Wow.
And as soon as we hit Georgia soil, this man acted a fool. He was beating me so bad that his mom jumped into it. So now he beating me and his mother.
Wow.
When the police came, naturally, he gonna run. And I stayed with her for a few days, like to let everything die down, because I was going back home, coming back here to Chicago. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to my old house where I left everything at and see if I can maybe gather up some of my paperwork, so I can come back home. And she said, you sure you're gonna be okay? I'm like, yeah. He probably over to Wanda house, because that's the girl that he was cheating on me with at the time. So he probably with her. Oh, he's not gonna be there. So I went to the house, and the way the apartment was set up, I had to go past my bathroom in order to get to my room. Past my bedroom, that's when he grabbed me from behind and started choking me. And now we on our knees, we on the ground. He's steady choking me from behind. And the last thing I remember, like the kids say, doing number 1 and number 2 on myself at the same time. And I blacked out, and that was the last thing I remember. Oh. And then when I woke up, I was in the hospital, and they was like, Miss Hall, we thought we lost you. Hey.
That is awesome. This is some awesome for you all to hear.
Not today.
So how have you healed from all of this?
Healed
Definitely healed.
by taking my power. That's the best thing I can say. I got my peace of mind back. I got my happiness back. I got myself back. Once I got myself back, and like I said, my power back, because once you let somebody take just a little bit control over you, they got your power. Once they got that, they can control your life better than you can. So you have to literally take it back.
And what are the warning signs? Well, how could you,
help us, help someone else?
To help someone else, I really honestly did not have any warning signs, and people don't believe me when I say that, but that's the God honest truth.
He was that perfect.
He was just that nice and that sweet. Like it was like Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, how could you be nice for 2 years, then all of a sudden you just snap?
Did you notice the change in his behavior from the drugs? Because you did mention that he had started using drugs.
I noticed it like towards the end. Towards the end, when I was paying attention.
Yeah, when you're in a relationship.
Because it was like it looked like it seemed like he would like black out, like come back to reality. Like he just.
Do you think the drugs provoked that?
I think so.
You think that last year, that's when he just started taking drugs? And
that's what I think so.
What kind of drug you think
they said he was drinking? I said he was drinking. He was doing that too. They said he was doing cocaine. They kept saying a rich man's drug. I'm like, what is a rich man's drug? And he was
he well employed, or did he lose employment at the time or something in the third year?
He would do like odd end jobs. Okay. You know what I mean? Like odd end jobs.
He had to follow you the rest of the time.
He would do
that
more.
Was a job within itself.
His to be honest, his job was taking stuff what he can from women that he came in contact with. That was his job. Taking.
So he was a womanizer.
Yeah, he was a womanizer. Anything he could take from any woman, baby. That was his job. job like no real man. That's what he had. That was his job.
Do you
So,
think
to
he
be
was
honest.
financially dependent on you as well?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And I'll be the first to say it.
Okay.
I don't lost many of jobs because of that man. Because him coming up to my job, cutting up, wanting to, beat up my supervisor.
I couldn't even
cuss me
imagine that
out,
because
you
that
know
kind
what
of
I
stuff
mean?
will make you want to snap and kill his butt. Like, dude.
Did you ever think about it? Like, any time you went to sleep at night, did you ever think about how you
Like,
could get rid of
really?
him? You think about putting a pillow over his head? You think about
Like,
putting
really?
something in his food?
I did.
Them
I'm
grits?
not gonna lie. And
Them
if I-
hot grits?
and hey, if I sit up
Fight
here,
back, lady. You want some grits and fish and grits, nigga? I got some grits for you.
If I sit up here and say I didn't think about none of that,
Sure.
I would be sitting up here lying to y'all. And I swear to God, I ain't got time to lie to y'all.
I asked because I've
It's
never
the
been
truth.
in the type of relationship, and I always try to sit and think what I could do if I was or something happened. I mean, like, I just couldn't take it because I think I would. Yeah, because I think hitting. I don't play fight. Because I think
a lot of people
can
do that
lead
too, and that could lead
But
to
it helps the
something.
relationship,
I
Lisa.
know it'll emulate though, because somebody might hit somebody.
I do.
Hit
I'm
somebody
not
too hard, and that somebody might take it too personal. I would take it personal. I don't do that. The person that I'm involved with, I highly respect. I look up to him. I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't do
So
those
no
things
horse
with
playing
him.
at all?
No, I wouldn't.
Really?
I won't pop upside the head.
Nope.
I won't hit him and think it's because for one, I don't want you to hit me back. Somebody hit you, no, we got male or female.
So where's the
you hit 'em back.
fun?
So
Where's
if I
the
don't want
fun
that to
at?
happen, I just wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do
Oh, I
it.
love the horseplay. I love
You know,
behind a
and-
nigga and be like, "Hey, baby, I love you."
Oh God, too funny. Oh God.
Look that way, baby.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. You're the abuser, okay?
Yes,
You're the abuser.
in my relationships, I don't that either.
You too chill for that.
Well, I am very laid back.
Because
You
of-
be like,
and I am.
if you don't go sit down.
I don't even take hollering at me real loud.
That's one sign of
Exactly.
abuse.
But I mean, I watched abuse, so I don't play those games at all. And I, even though I believe that me seeing it has affected me and how I deal with relationships. I need help.
See, and another
I
thing
mean,
that you
honestly,
can't do, you can't.
I
you
witnessed
can't-
that too with my mom. There were times when I would get out of school and I'll go visit her because she and I didn't live together. And she was in an abusive relationship and she was an abuser also verbally. So when you're a little woman, you're trying to abuse a big old man, calling him all kind of names, it's only so many words he's going to accept from you. So many, disrespectful words. So I would go visit her and she would be scared to open the door because she would be black and blue. And I look at my mom, I'm like, oh my God, this little short, petite lady, skin is just really fair. And I'm looking at her black, blue, red, purple, teeth missing. And I'm like, Mom, how could you let him do that to you? And I witnessed that as a child. So I do believe that does affect you as a child. When you grow up, you become what you are. I mean, what you see. You become a product of your environment. So, man, I just thank God that you here today.
Yes.
That you still in the land of the living.
Yes,
Yeah.
Because how did you deal with that psychologically? And I also, before we get into that, I wanted to ask you, and not to get too personal, but when you're in an abusive relationship with someone, how does that work out sexually? No, I'm asking.
I'm gonna be honest, because that's all I can do is be honest, and I'm in front of my millions of friends and family.
Right? How does that
Hey,
affect
y'all.
women sexually?
The guy that I was with, he used to rape me, baby. He take it. He
Are
would
you
take
serious,
it. Ain't no shoot.
Oh my
You
God!
gonna give it
You
whether
got
you
to
want it or
make
not.
He was
He
violent.
used to,
Rape
yeah,
is
he used
an
to
act of
rape me
violence.
and take it,
She
baby.
was
He
scared
took
to
it.
leave,
He took it
Yeah.
every way, every day, any place. He took it. He literally took it. He did. So that
Oh
guy
my
was a
gosh.
monster, and that's just bottom line. He was just evil. He was a monster. And,
I couldn't even imagine going through anything.
I got
like
the
that.
war wounds today to prove it.
Do
The
you
stab
know
marks.
If he was abusing the, I know you mentioned that he was dealing with another lady. Do you know
He
if he was
abused every
abusing
woman that he
her?
was with, relationship wise.
Y'all should have all got together and kicked his
And
butt.
his mom,
for real.
his
That
mother
ain't what
was
you wanted to say.
abused when she was when she was with his dad. He abused
His
his
mom
mom.
before
He hit his
she
mom.
got in
Oh my
He
goodness.
hit his
I don't-
mother.
outside
Yeah.
of the incident with
Yeah.
him and her.
He hit her before because he told her to stay out his business one day and smacked her and punched her and had her mouth.
Have you ever seen him fight a man?
A man.
Of course not.
Of course not.
And I'm glad she asked me that question because that's what I was gonna say next. I've never seen him fight a man. Never. Never.
You're a strong woman, Nina.
Never.
You are a very strong woman. I commend you for, your strength in everything and dealing with that situation, because I personally don't know how I would have done it,
I can't say. I'm sure you figure you a strong person and this would have never happened to you until it happened, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I always, I have women, what we say.
I'll be in the mental
if somebody hit
like
me,
this.
I wish they would. Blah, 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 blah. Until it actually happened, you just stunned,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you weren't the type to fight back?
First, I didn't fight back, but one day I decided to. And when he saw blood, he just kept calling me crazy. You crazy? You a crazy bee?
No, Negro, you crazy
bee.
You made me crazy.
I went crazy. I went from being timid to crazy.
It seems to be a very awkward situation, because even if you would have did something and harmed him, now it's a chance that you may lose your whole life and go to prison because of a choice somebody else made. But you really just defending yourself.
You really have to think about that, because I've been in situations where I had to think like, if I do X, Y, Z, then I'm gonna be up in somebody jail. You got to think about, because even though she had you say you had a list of incidents reports or
I had a whole paper trail on him.
Can I ask you a question? Have you had any help? Have you been talking to anybody since the incident?
No, ma'am. What I've been doing is I pretty much been doing my poetry. That's my therapy. That's my therapy, my poetry.
Have it affected your relationships, after that?
No, it has not. Thank God. No, it has not. I won't allow it to.
Tell us about the women you encounter with the organization that you are linked to.
I have and came in contact with a lot of people who are survivors as well, who have been through domestic violence or either seen their parents go through it or sisters or something like that. And what I'm doing now is I'm formulating a group called Purple Pieces to try to put together to reach out to, people that are in domestic violence situations, because it's a lot of shelters and things out there. But some shelters actually, believe it or not, people probably don't even know this, but they make you pay rate to stay there.
Is that on a pay scale, or
I think it's based on your income or how many children that you have or something? Yeah.
So if you don't have any income, you don't have any refuge.
That's what I'm thinking, because a lot of people, I have, me and a couple of my friends, we have tried to reach out to this one young lady. We tried to get her some help. And one shelter that we called, they was telling us that she had, was asking us how many kids that she have. And then once we told her, they were saying, that she would have to pay like $450 a month. And I'm like, well, she doesn't have that. She just needs to get away. And then they basically was like, well, what could we do? Because the state is not paying.
So it's really discouraging, and so they end up staying in an abusive relationship because they can't find help.
Can't find help.
So, it's this place called. I went to a domestic violence event last year. It's called Safeway. You can Google it. They did it where everybody paid to come in, and people was donating money left and right. People with business was giving away free trips to come there. So it would tell you if you donated 10,000, you would feed a family of this many. They're trying to help. It's just a matter of people getting up and going out and supporting
and getting the information out there.
And it's really good people that have been like really violated. They really have been violated domestically, but these people really put together a really good organization. Matter of fact, they have something coming up soon this October. I want to donate one of my Miss 72 jackets, which range for like $600, for them to auction off, just so that I can play a part. You might not have no money, but you have a talent, you have something that you can give. That somebody that all they do got is money can back to help this organization as well as the voice. Your voice matters too.
Right. And we need to start paying attention too. We got to pay attention to each other, because a lot of times people go through things and they're not saying it with their mouth, but their actions speak it. You know
Pay
what I'm
attention.
saying? Their behavior change. We got to start paying attention to each other so we can start helping each other, because this is something that a lot of us go through. And men,
Right. It's not just physical. It's
our children
mental,
are going through it, and,
emotional,
And see
financial.
what happened in my case to finally bring closure to it. I had went back home to Chicago, and I got a call one day from Columbus, Ohio, district attorney, and he was, verifying that I was who I was, and he was asking me, did I know the guy? Did I know him? I said, yeah. He was like, well, man, we have an open case against him, from you in Atlanta, and we wanted to know if you could come to Columbus, Ohio, because they was telling me he was dating some girl, and they said that he put his hands on her. But they knew, which like most women do, when you go to court, don't put them in jail if you're going to go to the court case and drop the charges. You have to say, I'm tired, I'm done. Don't be afraid. You ain't got to be afraid now because he can't get you. He can't get to you. So you have to keep those charges going. You got to keep them going. And so what happened was they knew she was going to drop the charges. So they asked me, would I come to Columbus, Ohio? They said, don't worry about nothing, just come. I packed maybe a couple of weeks, a week's worth of clothes. I went down there. They talked to me, and they was asking me, was I ready to they wanted me to testify against him for what he did to me in Atlanta. I was saying to myself, yes, this is finally finna be over. Yes. So I couldn't wait. So the day that it came, he was sitting at the little table. They called my name. And he must didn't hear him the first time because he had his head down. I'm saying to myself, And the second time they called my name, Miss Hall, is she in the courtroom? Like, here, Your Honor. So he looked up, he dropped his head down like he saw a ghost. Because remember the last time he saw me, he had his hands around my neck.
That's right.
So so when he saw me, you could tell he had that look in his face like,
it's over.
Like she lives.
She lived. Like it's, So I mean, they gave him 15 years. I was praying to God that it would have been more, but hey.
That's another question. I want to know why they do that, because I have a friend who just recently went through mess. I can't really speak a lot on her name or her situation, but she's finally able to come out after 2 years and speak and be a voice and be part of domestic violence. And she was with a man for 20 years. And just one day he just snapped and did the same, but he did all in one moment. Left her to die. The child in the house. She for a long time was just scared to turn around, scared to look anywhere. And this wasn't something that happened for the whole 20 years. It just up and happened one day. I even questioned her, asking, well, do he smoke? Did they lace his weed? Did they put something? Did he take something that day? Like, I can't see somebody being the way he was to all of a sudden. But for a long time, she wouldn't speak on it. She wouldn't say nothing. She was in fear. Then you got children involved. He's your baby daddy. You don't want to have to worry about what the kid not having a father. It put her in a very bad place. But right now, just as you, she's getting out here. She's giving her voice. She's telling people, say something. Somebody else needs to hear this so they can stop being afraid before they get to the point and they can't say nothing.
Yes.
I mean, and a lot of people are really, really controlled mentally. I watched a girlfriend of mine talk to somebody that was abusing her. He was in jail. He wasn't in jail for the abuse that he had done to her, but he was in jail. I watched her talk to him on the phone. She was in a very good mood, and she just broke out crying and trembling. Her whole everything
because
changed.
It's the things that they say to you. It will get to your soul. It will touch your soul to some of the things that they would say to you. They'll have you believing that don't nobody else want you, you ugly, all type of stuff. They'll try to dictate what you wear, what you talk. Some guys, if you look at another guy, you better walk with your head down. Don't you look a certain way or something like that. All that. It's just.
So those are the signs.
Those are the
much.
signs. Yeah. And they do the blame game. They want to blame you for everything. Nah, you did this.
Never want to take ownership or responsibility.
And I wouldn't have never did that. See, look what you made me do. It's just, it's bad.
So let me ask you ladies this. Do you all think, how do you feel about this term? If he hits you once, he'll hit you again.
That's a true story. And not only will it get better, it's going to get worse. It might seem like for a while, baby, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. I don't know what I was thinking about. I'm tripping. It'll probably for a while, for like probably a week or so, it'll probably go back to normal, but then here it go again. It's gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. And how many I'm sorry's can you take?
Exactly.
How many babies I'm not gonna do it no more is it gonna be?
And
No.
some people have no other choice but to that they have no other choice but to stay there and put up with the abuse.
Right.
If they have no means of, finding another place to stay, or, no family,
Right. They're not financially.
yeah, or even just mentally stumped. Because
One of the things that you have to do, honestly, one of my friends has a book called How to Get the F Out. And if she didn't touch on everything in there, I don't know what she did.
Wow.
And I hope she watching live. She you have to, first of all, you have to tell some things you have to keep to yourself. You can't tell everything. You have to, like, because you can't let them know all your friends or all your hiding places or something like that. You have to keep stuff to yourself. You have to put away like your own bank account. You have to put you like a to-go bag, a security, a bag. But you keep you some money together or something, because you have to find a way to get out. Because a lot of people stay because of, like you say, because of kids. A lot of people stay because of financial reasons. A lot of people stay because that's the only man they know. They ain't never been with no other man but this person. You know what I mean? It's a lot of reasons why people stay. Kids and to me, and finances, I think, are number one. But you have to, like I said, you got to take your power back, because
But it hurts the kids.
It hurts the kids.
For you to stay in a relationship. It does affect them later on in their life.
Yeah.
Because I've had incidents where, my sons may have been involved in relationships, and whichever women they chose to date somehow came from abusive relationships. So these women want to be physical. You want to put your hand on my son. He don't hit girls, but you provoking him to hit you. Because you feel like if he don't put his hands on you, he don't care about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you used to. Now, if my son was to result in hit you back, now he's in the wrong. Now he got a domestic violence charge against him. So it goes both ways.
So when you have people, what's your contact information, Nina?
the book,
For those.
that book. Who wrote that book? Get
What
the
book?
F Out. That you were talking about.
My
What's
friend, her name is Skylar.
Skylar.
Skylar James.
Can they find that book on Amazon? I'm sure a lot of people.
Yes, on Amazon. I'm almost positive it's on Amazon. It's called Get the F Out.
What's her last name?
James.
Skylar James.
SKYLAR.
Skylar James.
Give my girl a shout out.
Yes.
Okay. I just sent you a friend request, Skylar James.
Yes. And then she got another book that she just wrote too. She does Get the F Out. And then she got another book that she just wrote too.
Guide to leading an abusive relationship.
Yes.
I want to know, when you get some abuse, you ever get any abuse?
I worked at a Rainbow House before, and Rainbow House is on what's that, Cermak or something? No, 26th Street. Yeah, 26th and Keeler. And I worked with them, and there was a lot of Latino families that I worked with. Those kids were so broken. They were just broken because they saw it every day, all day. They didn't know. Like I had one session where I was talking to some teenagers, and one of the dads came into the session while I was, talking to them, and just the way he came in that room and he grabbed his daughter and was talking to her like she was his wife or something. It was just, it was crazy. So it really does. It affects kids real bad. Mm-hmm. So if you guys are out there and you're going through this, or you know somebody that's going through it, please reach out to them.
So how would you tell a child how they can get help if they're in a home where the parents are being abusive to them? Can you tell us how we can tell a child to get help?
To tell a child is like if they're in school, talk to their counselor, or talk to their teacher, let their teacher know, just ask, teacher, can I talk to you after school or something? Don't be afraid. Talk to your teacher or your counselor, or like if you go to church, like if your pastor or someone in the church that you trust. If you have an adult that you trust, or because some people, some kids be like, that's my favorite auntie, that's my favorite uncle. Talk to them and let them know.
And that's any abuse, because any type of abuse. Our babies need to know that once you talk to somebody, you can get out of that situation.
Because you'll be giving your mom the help that she probably can't get herself. See, a lot of people don't think that help can come. It can. Because I had a friend of mine, like during one incident, she told me to come with her because she would want to go. She was pretending like she was going to look for a car. So the guy that I was with didn't want me to go, but I'm like, no, I gotta go because I gotta go pay on my car note, knowing I didn't have to. So she went. We went. He went in the car with us, and I was so glad that he did because that day I had called the police, and they came and got him and took him away, and he was gone for a long time. And this one of the times I'm like, yes, I finally, got some peace. But like again, they only held him for 72 hours, and he come again. It needs to be a rule about that. They need to stop people that's, in domestic violence relationships. They need to keep guys or the women or whoever it is that's abusing people in jail for longer than 72 hours.
I agree because I know my friend, she had to go to court, and when she thought the court was over with, he didn't want to take the time that they gave him. They was not giving him a lot of time. It's people going to time for car theft, getting longer sentences than people that's almost killing folks. If you was to do attempted murder, you get more, but they're not putting it up under attempted murder. They just putting it up under domestic. That's it. So it's not being, the charge is not as great, but the pain is forever. Like you never can forget that moment. Thank God you're dealing with it accordingly. You have people like us to back you up. We are so proud of you.
Thank
and
you.
glad to have you with us today as well. And that you choose your voice to help others that are trying to not going through the same thing, or those that know people that maybe they can give you information. Because I straight up gave her my friend went through that, because you cannot allow these people to be like, oh, I don't want to talk. You got to talk to them. Mm-hmm. I talk to her every day. When I feel like she was falling off, I reached out to her because her idle mind is a devil's workshop. It is. And I feel like if she didn't have nobody to talk to her, she just would have got kids. You got to stay up for your children. She just was wish she had killed her. Wish she wasn't here, because it's a struggle and it's a lot of pain. And she dealt with leg injuries for a very long time after this.
He left her. So that, she was with this man for all this time, and then all of a sudden everything.
He was in hiding. It took 2 years for them to find him.
That's wild.
They did not find. That's why she was in so much pain. They did not find him till after 2 years, and she thought that she would be relief, but she wasn't, because
so many emotions.
And then the thing is, she had to make them. She like, this man walking around here with a link card, and you gonna tell me y'all can't find him? Are you serious?
All they had to do was trace his transactions.
Yeah, it's transactions.
They know how to find.
And people. His family was help hiding him as well.
Yeah, okay, I was here on my phone trying to find a domestic violence hotline number. Do you happen to have that? Would you happen to have that?
No, I don't have it. I think it's 1-800. I don't
domestic
know.
Violence.
The domestic.
You could Google
these
days. You could pretty much Google.
But Safeway is the Safeway I was speaking of. That is a domestic violence. You just got to Google Safeway. They do help. They take families in. That's why they do all these charities to get the money. So if you don't have it, they can help you build yourself back up along with your children and support you throughout what you went through. And you don't have to worry about somebody that don't know what you've been through. All these people have been through what you've been through. They're very much a safe way.
There's no judgment.
It's a place. Yes,
there's no judgment.
I'll give you guys my contact information because you asked me. I'm sorry. We got distracted. My contact information. Facebook is Janine Nina Hall. My Instagram is Janine Hall 42. Get my phone number over the line.
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
My phone number is 708-674-6022. Again, that's 708-674-6022.
This is a very important topic, people.
Right. So do you know of any, I know about the Safeway, but what about support groups for women that may be in a domestic violence situation but are afraid to speak up? They just want someone to talk to.
A lot of I know Wings have good support groups. I don't know if people, I know the Cook County Jail, they have Women of Power. That's good support groups. And Rainbow House, yeah, good support groups.
That's awesome. Okay. Mia, can we get the advertisements for today, and then we're going to end with that next poem that you have?
Okay.
Advertisements.
Yeah. Our favorite spot, the Q Lounge.
Okay, yes. I'll get to our sponsors. Yes, you guys, please check out the Q Lounge. I don't have any information readily available, but if you Google La Cuenta Mexican Restaurant, you should be able to find it. It's located. Anybody can help me out with this?
It's like near Ridgeland and Cermak. A big,
I know we had
huge letter. You
information on
can't-
it.
It's on the
Black
corner.
building with a big, huge yellow sign. You can't miss
It's
it.
on the corner of Elmwood
I
Avenue.
promise to have better information
And
next
Cermak.
time.
Sorry, guys.
Caught me off guard, Lisa.
I'm sorry, but I just told her
I
it's in the
didn't
car.
know.
I said I need you to do the
Put it
advertising.
in the-
Yeah, I did.
it's probably
I
not
told her.
live.
She's acting slow.
I'm
doing bald
acting
hair right
slow.
now.
Oh, you
Doing
know what?
bald hair right now. I'm
If
gonna
they're
send it to
following
you.
live, we
Sit
can
down
put some
there.
information into the live feed.
Okay, I will. I'll include
yeah.
that information later.
Yeah.
Facebook, but it won't allow you to save your lives. Anybody else
Right.
having that problem? I remember that.
Yeah, they acting funny a little bit.
So Nina, go ahead and share with us your other poem.
Okay, and before I do my other poem, a shameless plug. December 15th, no, October 13th, we're going to start October. This Friday coming up, I'll be a feature poet at Hot Sauce Poetry. It's on near
Give it up.
16th and Pulaski. I don't really know the address right now. I'm so sorry. It's Hot Sauce Poetry. And December 13th, I'm doing a play called What Happened to Black Love. It's written, directed, and produced by me. It's
yeah.
called What Happened to Black Love, December 13th. Get your tickets now. Don't wait till the last minute. I'm trying to tell y'all, wait to get them now.
Okay.
So I'm getting to this last poem. It's an apology to myself.
Hey.
It's apologizing to other people, but we never apologize to ourselves. So ready?
Yes.
Don't want to lose you, but in the process, I don't want to lose me either. My heart is bleeding royal blue, and all the stories, even some of the lies I told you were true. And although together for years, you act brand new. And if people only knew all the things that I put me through, accepting tolerance of you, I immediately dealt with your ignorance. Time felt obligated. So do I stay so people can congratulate us, or do I stay so people can hate us? In your eyes lost attraction, and other females' anatomy brought distractions, would eventually be my subtraction, which meant your love for me was only a fraction. So do you sex me because you want to, or you have to? Is it love or lust? Your flirtations, body language, how can I trust you? I took all of your shit. I would have moved a few problems around in my head so that yours could fit. So how can I love you? He wants me, but he lost her. He betrayed me, but he trusts her. He communicates with me through text, but he solicitates her with sex. And he takes me out for dinner, but he eats her out for dinner. He treats me, but he treats her. He wipes me, but he plays house with her. He loves me, but he's in love with her. He beats me, but sways to the beat of her. And he belittles me, but he has a little one with her. And he plays with my emotions, and he messes with her to find emotion. And he says that we have nothing in common. But because they have matching ashtrays and lungs, they get along just fine. And he said that I don't show him no attention because I work too much. But just because they share the same couch in different colors, she shows him more attention. And he sucks on her, but he sucks all of the energy out of me. See, that is why I have to say that I'm sorry. I can accept my apology now because I couldn't accept it before because I wasn't ready yet. I kept going back to abuse over and over and over again. And I kept saying that I was tired. I was so tired. But was I really tired? I could tell my body that I'm so sorry for putting her through sexual abuse as a child from my cousin, and for putting her through physical abuse not 1 or 2 times in her life, but for letting her soul being disrespected, for letting my heart being raped raw without a condom, for letting him lay down with me and inject me with his bad spirits, for letting him take control of my life, for allowing him to give me the handbook on low self-esteem, no self-love, by endangering her life when I was homeless, sleeping downtown on the streets of abandoned buildings, waking up to the cold air. I'm apologizing. I'm apologizing right now because she didn't deserve none of this. I chose to stay with ignorance. I kept going back to fake love, fake her love. I was scared to run. So today, I, Janine Hall, want to apologize to that 5, that 21, that 23, and 31-year-old for all that she has been through. It took me all these years to get it right, to realize that I had to say absolutely not to violence because I got tired of being a victim. I was very irritated and can't tolerate an immature man. I'm not a victim. I'm victorious. I'm not hurting. I'm healing. I'm not perfect, but I'm praying to be. I'm passionate about my cause. I'm not fake. I'm just faithful. I know sob stories. I'm just a survivor. I thank God somebody that I don't look like what I've been through. Because self, I want to ask you a question. And that question is, will you accept your apology? And the answer is yes. That's that piece.
All right, we're going to wrap it up on
Thank
Sister
y'all.
Talks. Thank you all for coming out here every Sunday from 12 to 1. Thanks.
Thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in.